Welcome back to the show. You know, for nearly 60 years, McClennan Community College has been part of the higher education sphere here in Central Texas. It was in 1965 that voters approved the college. In fact, the first junior college in the state of Texas to incorporate the word community in its name. Well, for decades, we have all reaped the benefits of some 8,000 students a semester. It's offering 140 degrees, certificates, occupational skills, so much important work that MCC is doing. And it is my joy to welcome to the show Johnette McKown, who is the president of MCC, the third president, I might add, of MCC, and Ashley Cruseturner, who is a history professor and division chair. We've got some fun things to talk about involving MCC, and the first thing I really want to touch on is 60 years. Where has the time gone, Johnette?
I don't know, but we have seen some amazing things under the leadership of Wilbur Ball and Dennis Michaelis. So it's an exciting time with new programs happening. And so we're just excited to celebrate the 60th anniversary.
Well, I see you brought your commemorative book. I found my commemorative book. This was celebrating 40 years of MCC serving Central Texas. And I was thinking, as I was researching for our talk today, I have that. I was thinking it was a 50-year one. But no.
We do have
20 years. Yeah. I need to get the 51. I don't have the 50th one. But this is such a great history. So, Ashley, I know that that's your bailiwick. I mean, as a historian, and you've been at MCC, 26 years?
I have, yeah.
So, just your thoughts on where we are right now at MCC.
So, in history, we study change over time. And 1965, 60 years ago, Lyndon Johnson was president. Andy Griffith was one of the top TV shows. The Beatles and the Supremes and the Beach Boys and the Rolling Stones were at the top of the charts. So a lot of change since 1965. The people of McClennan County sort of had a vision and they stepped out. It was really a remarkable time. 1965, as we remember, was sort of sometimes people will call that a second Reconstruction. It was a time, there was a new birth of freedom in a lot of ways, and MCC had the privilege of coming into being right at that moment, and so we were a place for everyone. We opened our doors, and it's a place where everyone belongs, and that's always been the way we've thought about it.
Well, I don't want to bury the lead in this, and that is that coming up on September 11th, you have a very important lecture series that is continuing. And Ashley, tell us a little bit about who the guest speaker will be.
Well, we are really excited. We are having Justice of the Supreme Court, Brett Kavanaugh. So quite a thing for us. We are putting the big pot into the little one, I guess, getting ready for all this. So very, very excited.
And this is, of course, part of the Ken Starr lecture series, obviously honoring our good friend and noted jurist Ken Starr. Alice Starr, his widow, of course, still very involved with MCC and what's happening. And was she instrumental in greasing the wheels to get Justice Kavanaugh here?
Well, of course she was.
Silly question.
Yeah, she and Judge Starr have been great friends of the college, and one event that has become routine is when Ashley leads a political science course, and he could talk about that. We usually end up in Judge Kavanaugh's office in his chambers. He's just speaking to the students. But they have been great friends of ours. Do you want to talk about that a little, Ashley?
Sure, and I do want to mention, the relationship that you had with Judge Starr as president of Baylor. I mean, again, I think about this monumental world figure who came to Waco and became so important to Waco, and just immediately the president struck up a friendship. They were all sort of couples together. They enjoyed each other's company and did a lot for everyone, and so it's been an amazing friendship, and we are really privileged to honor his memory, his legacy with this lecture series.
Well, and the love that the Stars have for MCC.
Yeah, and for Waco. Yeah, it's really been amazing.
Yeah.
But it is funny when you go to the Supreme Court, and we've gone to the Supreme Court before with Ken Starr, and you walk in there, and it's almost as if the boss has showed up.
I'll bet.
The Chief Justice John Roberts used to work for Ken Starr in the solicitor's office, and Brett Kavanaugh worked for Ken Starr, and I think. Again, our good friend Alice Starr, she's sort of mom to everyone. And so I think they really defer to her. And of course, they deferred to the judge. So really special relationships. And so we've gone in there with our students, and the Chief Justice has come out. One time we tried to sneak in. Alice tried to sneak in without the Chief Justice knowing. And he found out and chased us down and couldn't believe we were there without her saying that. We went there to see Justice Kavanaugh that day. But so amazing relationships. And so, of course, we benefit greatly from all of that.
Yeah. So what does it mean to have someone of that caliber come to MCC and meet with the public and with students?
Well, it's very unusual. I have other community college presidents that say, how did you make that happen? And of course, we make it because of our friendship with the Stars. Sure. And so we are very grateful for that. Now that, we had Clarence Thomas and now with Justice Kavanaugh. So it's kind of an exciting thing that I think makes us be recognized in a really positive way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this series was started in 2023, of course, honoring the legacy of the former Baylor president, Ken Starr. I know in the past, there have been some pretty remarkable, before the Ken Starr series started, I know Robert Reich, I think, was here.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of important people have come to MCC.
Bob Woodward was here.
Yes, right.
We've had a lot of good folks.
We really have, and Watson was here, and Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
But one of my favorite memories is we had a luncheon before the series with Bob Woodward. And so Bob Woodward and Judge Starr met each other for the first time, and of course Woodward Woodward had not spoken very kindly about Judge Starr, but they had the most active conversation. It's just they couldn't stop talking to each other, so the rest of us at the table just listened. So those kinds of events have just been very special. We had Lisa Ling. We've just had many exciting speakers.
Jose Hernandez recently. That was a big, the astronaut. That was really a big event.
Yeah. Well, you can reserve tickets now. That opened up on the 1st of August. So, and these are free tickets. And let's kind of talk a little bit about that, because these justices cannot accept compensation, right?
That is right. And of course, we've always had it open to the public. This is part of our community service. So you do have to reserve your ticket, and we encourage you to do that through Eventbrite. But we would love for you to be our guest at this great event.
Oh, well, I'm bells on. Bells on, I will be there. And my son, who's very excited about coming to hear Justice Kavanaugh as well. As a historian, though, I want to talk to you a little bit more about that. You've dealt with students now for many years. Give us the gauge of the sensibilities that our young people have now about history, and particularly American history, which is your specialty.
Well, that's a great question. And I think about this, and we're doing this for the community, but of course, primarily it's for students. Mm-hmm. And when we think about bringing a Supreme Court justice, so here is one of the cornerstones of almost 250 years of constitutional government, right? There's only been 116 justices at the Supreme Court. There's only 9 on the bench right now. And that is, and we see them in the newspaper every day. This is the highest court in the land. And they're making momentous decisions that someday my students will be reading, right? This decision that came out this week, this will be a page in their history book. So it is, again, the idea of American history coming alive. We think this really brings things home for our students.
Yeah. People can reserve tickets, though, but it's limited seating. Where will this event be held?
Highlands Gym.
It's okay. So bigger venue. In the past, you've had it there at the conference center.
We have.
So about how many will this seat?
I think we're thinking 1,800.
Okay, good.
Right around 2000. We
Yeah.
had, so when Clarence Thomas came, so the Ken Starr series has been since 2022, but Judge Starr was always a friend, and so he was the person, of course, who facilitated the visit of Clarence Thomas back in 2017.
Sure, yeah.
And we had Clarence Thomas in the gym, and we had a full house, and that was amazing. So again, 2,000 seats. That's nice.
Yeah, and expect pretty tight security, I would think. So that means no handbags and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, clear.
Yeah, got
Clear backpacks
It's going
and
to
all
feel
that.
a lot like going to a Baylor football game.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
Don't be surprised though if you might be sent back to your car with a purse.
Right, right.
Well, when we come back, I do want to talk some more about the amazing history of MCC. I just loved going through this book and just hearing your thoughts about the work that MCC is doing here in the community. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
For 75 years, Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. No gimmicks, just durable, well-designed bottles built to last. Join us in our mission to amplify life, not complicate it. Because at Nalgene, what goes into our bottles matters as much as the adventures they fuel. Explore more at nalgene.com. That's NALGENE.com.
If I've learned anything in the last year, it's that to show up as my best, I need to make intentional choices. And that goes back to the absolute basics. Number one, it's I have to move. And number two, to stay hydrated.
I have been using molecular hydrogen from Water and Wellness to support my health and well-being. It helps with energy, recovery, liver health, and more. The hydrogen has been a game-changing addition to my own wellness routine. The tablets dissolve into my water and deliver powerful minerals to help my body feel its best all day long.
Please stay with us. There's music ahead from Aaron Konzelman. And we'll get the latest Act Locally news, too. Be sure to like and subscribe to The Ann Harder Show on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
Smoke Pub was created by a group of friends who share a passion for great whiskey and cocktails. Frustrated by the lack of easy-to-use cocktail smokers, we set out to design something better. Our goal was simple: make smoking cocktails quick, clean, and fun. After countless experiments, we developed Smoke Pub, the world's first electric cocktail smoker. Join us on this exciting journey and discover the magic of Smoke Pub, where unforgettable cocktails begin.
And we are back with Ashley Cruseturner, who is the history professor at MCC, and President Johnette McKown. And it's just so fun to have you back here on the podcast. It's been a long time since we've had a chance to speak, but we've been knowing each other quite a while.
We have, and it's just always great to share about the wonderful things that we're doing at MCC. And the lecture series we talked about a little bit, and Cameron Hall we're about to open.
Tell me about that.
I'm going to tell you a little bit, and I'm going to let Professor Cruseturner come up with the history. We had this idea that we wanted to restore the Cameron House. You want to
Yes.
talk a little bit about the history of the house?
It became the art center, and
It's so funny.
and then it was falling apart.
It's a storied
Yeah.
history.
They had to move out.
And
so-
evidently a really happening wild place back
Yeah.
in the 20s and 30s, a real place for social gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
And then went into disuse. The George family bought it. And then, of course, we bought it along with the property or it was given to us in 1967.
We
bought it. Yeah.
We bought it.
We got a good deal on it, though, I am told.
Yeah.
And then the Art Center in 1974. And then the Art Center was in there, I think, for $10 a year for 40 years until 2018.
Yeah,
and
that's
it became
great. What a gift. Yeah.
structurally unsound. And then we had this great, what do we do with this great historical relic? And of course we wanted to restore it, and that turned out to be impossible. And then we've come up with this, or we wanted to renovate it, but we've come up with this restoration I think does a lot of honor echoes this great historical building. And so I'm really proud of what we've done with this thing. And of course, the president has led the way on all that.
So what's the timeline? When will it open?
It's going to open in October.
Okay.
We've been working through this. We have a primary donor who helped us have the ability to do it because I was always afraid we would just be knocking it down. And the renovation costs really just exceeded what we were going to be able to raise. And that's why we have a new facility that resembles the old house. It gives a nod to it, as we have talked about a season for the summer home of the Camerons. And that's kind of what we're doing. We've reconnected with the last resident of the home, Johnette George Spinks, and so she's been helping us with a lot of information and that kind of thing. But we are so excited. We're going to have a history wall, which really shows the life of the Camerons as well as for what has happened with the college. But it's really a gift to the community, and we've had a lot. We still got room for people to help us complete it. We're going to keep the courtyard. And,
it's so lovely.
And
they used to have the wine and cheese festival. Right
yeah, and
there.
it's going to be wonderful, and we're hoping we're raising money to do some more work there and to have a lecture, kind of a conference room at the end where the open area was. But we are preserving the old part of the home and yet opening up a large event facility, as well as the foundation will make its home there. But it's going to be very exciting to see.
Yeah. I was going to ask you. So it's going to be 4 events. About how much space are we talking? How big of an event?
Well, for people that are seated at tables, it's right under 200. So
Okay.
it's not extremely large,
No,
but
but that's a good
it's
size.
beautiful. Everyone who's seen the construction is just amazed. We didn't replicate the old house. I think we wouldn't have wanted to do that, but you obviously know it reminds you of the old house.
Oh, it's just the setting. Well, the setting for MCC is so beautiful. It is just such a lovely campus. Anyway, so this new facility, how did you raise money for that? I mean, do you get government grants, or is it strictly local folks?
It's really community folks.
Yeah.
We had a lead donor, and then we actually were able to secure some TIF money for it.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Tell them what
we're
that is.
Well, that's the tax increment financing zone, and we have over the years, we contribute to it.
Of course
I
you do,
think,
yeah.
Maybe $750,000 this last year, I think. But over time, there are
much?
millions of dollars that we have put in the TIF to support economic development for our community, because we are part of the community. And then we've had a large number of community donors, and we're still looking for more. And there will be a donor wall where people will, in categories, show that they've contributed to this, what I consider a community project.
Now, are you seeing, is this the last project? I mean, what do you see down the road as far as facilities that MCC might need?
Right now, we're not talking about new facilities. We've got some rehab to do to the
Sure.
ones that we have. The way we would fund facilities, we have to go back and ask the taxpayers, and we are just reluctant to do that unless we have donors who can help us with that. And we've done some things with revenue bonds and tax bonds over the years, but now there's so much online that a lot of the students are taking at least maybe one course from campus, and a lot of the rest of it is away from campus. Plus, we have a large contingency of dual credit students. Some of them actually come to campus and get college credit. Some we go to the schools. I think we have about 28 schools we partner with. So our whole goal is always to do what the community needs, the training, the community programs, and that's where our heart is for students not to just come, but to finish and end up with a living wage.
Well, just in your tenure, I mean, I'm sure you've seen so much growth in that area of the partnering with other schools, with Tarleton, and talk a little bit about that, how local students are able to get four-year degrees from schools that aren't in the area.
Well, we have a strong partnership with Charlton and
Yeah.
with Texas Tech.
Uh-huh.
And so students can actually earn bachelor and master's degrees, and it's such fun to see them go to the home campuses and walk and do just like they graduated from there.
Yeah.
We have a unique partnership, stronger than most, in that those students are somewhat our students. We share a counseling center. We share tutoring and library. Every resource we have, those students are entitled to share. So it's been a wonderful partnership, and many more students complete bachelor's and master's degrees because of our unique partnership.
Yeah, yeah. Professor Cruseturner, you in working with students, are you seeing a spark of interest in these students to want to go on with history type degrees?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of great history students on our campus. History is one of the things that we teach more students, I think, than a lot of the other disciplines, and they're good. They're interested. They like a story well told. I'll mention our great friend and colleague Vince Clark, who's you probably know. He's famous throughout the community for being a great storyteller, and they sit there, and again, all of our colleagues in history are fantastic, and sometimes our students are enthralled, right? It's a different generation, and it's not on TikTok, but sometimes a good story well told will really animate them, and so we've had a lot of fun with them. We were talking about Judge Kavanaugh. We took I think 10 students into his chambers a year or so ago, and again, he's so nice. But the questions they asked him, I think, were just incredibly
Good.
impressive. So we've got some great young minds on our campus, and we have a lot of fun with them.
Yeah, so for many years you have taken a group of students to DC and Philly, right?
We have, and that's been a great trip for them. There's nothing like, and this goes for our teachers as well. I mean, you can talk about something, and then to walk those steps.
Oh, yeah, to
makes
see
a
it.
complete difference. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Do you get to go, Johnette?
Yes, I've been going on most of the trips, and Jeremy
Lehman.
Lehman, he's gone, and mainly Andrew Clayton, and also Professor Cruseturner go. And you just can't imagine walking through the places and having them take you places you wouldn't have gone, tell you things you wouldn't have known. And Eric Emblem, that's what I was
Eric
thinking
Emblem
about.
last
He
year.
went on the last trip to Philly.
Yeah.
So
Philadelphia expert, that Eric Emblem. Yeah.
So that's why all of these have, and Andy Ramon went at one point, but they really, when I ask students who their favorite teacher is at the end of the semester, it doesn't surprise me if they've been on the DC trip, those are their favorite professors.
Yeah, I can imagine that is true. You are an expert, though, in American culture. I think, let's see. Well, I'm gonna find my note that you really focus in on
American presidency,
right?
and
but
Jackson.
Jackson, yeah, yes. So tell me what really enticed you with that particular president?
Yeah, so I had a great teacher at Baylor.
There you go.
Yeah, Paul Armistead. I always say I was sitting in that
Yes.
class at 9:00 on a Monday morning, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with my life, and I kept on. After a couple of weeks, I realized, well, I want to be that guy, Paul Armistead. But
Well, you kind of are.
Yeah, right.
Here we are.
And he was great on that era, and of course, the whole the age of Jackson. There's been a lot of comparisons to the current administration. Andrew Jackson was a man of the people that people a lot of pundits and a lot of the folks who'd been around for a long time didn't understand what was happening, and so a lot of times the whole idea of the age of Jackson never really goes away. Where it's a populist president and a dynamic president, and so we're always able to look at Jackson and look at something new through the lens of Jackson. So again, Jackson never gets old. Jackson's a lot of fun.
Yeah. The purpose of history with that, and you're also called on if they need an expert on civil rights and things like that. Tell me about that aspect of your work.
Sure. Getting back to our founding in 1965. I mean, again, when we think about civil rights, we very often think about Martin Luther King and the 1963,
Sure,
and of course
yeah.
King being killed in '68, assassinated. But it's a long story. It's the story of civil rights in America is a big river with many currents that really goes to the beginning and goes on today. So we're making a more perfect union. We're always working on that, and that civil rights story has always been a big part of that. And again, MCC plays a big part in that in terms of our cultural history, being able to come online when it does.
Mm-hmm. And you're also a podcaster, is that right? But you mentioned it's a Substack. So what does that mean?
It's a Substack.
What is that?
We've not actually gone live. You're one of my heroes here. The way you're doing this podcast is awesome. But every once in a while, I will. The president keeps me pretty busy, but every once in a while, I'll have an idea about movies or politics or something that's going on, and it will burst out into that Substack. So I love to write. Our Chief Justice, John Roberts, one time they said, I remember him in his hearings, he said, I don't know what I think about it until I actually write about it. And so
Really?
there's a great discipline to writing.
Something about putting it on paper.
You have to make it logical enough for you to believe it. And usually that's a good mental exercise.
Yeah. I'm sure you've got, some favorite students, though, maybe that come to mind that have gone on to do big things. Anybody come to mind?
Absolutely. Well, we and there's a bunch of them. We have a couple of students who always meet us in Washington.
Good.
And working in the Department of Justice is one of them. Ross Tullis is another. These are all people who actually went on that trip.
Yeah.
And, you may have run into Ross. Ross was. He's been working in Washington for the last couple of years. So we had an inside tour one morning of the Capitol that Ross took us all of the secret places. Right, it was kind of a backstage thing. So so we have. It is really fun to watch our students who've come along and do these great things in our community.
Yeah. President McKown, I know MCC takes great pride in their first generation students too, and what it has meant for families who never had anyone go to get a higher education degree.
Well, it's really important, and we are very blessed that the Rappaport Foundation has funded a whole program, that we have a cohort that really gets extra help from a counselor, and so that's exciting. But so many of our students are first generation and first time they've ever been to college, and sometimes they need a little bit extra help, but we're excited about our students and that program in particular.
Yeah, and you've got some other new programs, though, I think, coming online, right? Is it dental?
Yeah,
hygiene?
dental assistant.
Dental assistant. So what's the difference with that and a hygienist?
Well, the hygiene is a 2-year degree, and it's more intensive. The assistant is shorter.
Okay.
And so that we're planning to do that in the spring. We've been looking at it a long time. Our new funding model is all outcome-based. And so these shorter credentials, we will get benefit from that. We no longer get money for students just being enrolled. And so it's really important that we help them get these certificates and degrees. And it's important, our dual credit students, if they leave with less than 15 hours, we have taught them maybe for 2 or 3 years without any reimbursement, because they have to complete, and that's not a bad goal for us.
I was going to say,
that's a good goal.
Okay.
And so we want to make sure that they complete and that they're moving toward transferring or either completing and going a technical degree. We have all those health profession programs. It's not just being a nurse, and those are great careers that can be gained in just 2 years, whether it's nursing or OT, occupational therapy, or rad tech, or respiratory care. They're just our med lab. So we're pretty proud of all of those programs.
Oh, the healthcare area MCC is known for. Also, commercial music. I mean, have got a lot of friends who have gone through the MCC music program, just outstanding musicians.
Well, and some of them, like Lizzie Garza, she's really done well.
Yeah.
Lexi Garza.
Right.
So she's performing everywhere.
She's doing big things. Yes, I need to get her back on the show.
Yeah, and one thing I just forgot to mention on new things is we've begun volleyball this fall.
Really?
So that's a brand new program for us. And so we're excited about that.
Volleyball. Okay, well, and your sport programs have done very, very well. I know you're such a great supporter. I know you go when they travel, and I love that about you.
Well, we just love to see the students succeed,
Yeah.
and they succeed in the classroom too. There were quite a few that were 4.0 graduates, and so that's really exciting. And I think softball had maybe last year a 3.64 overall GPA of their graduates. So we just really we want them to do well and go to the next level. And then many of them, they'll transfer to not just any college or university, but they'll perform on the D1 level. And that's kind of nice. Something I had mentioned was our program with Masaryk University in the Czech Republic. One of our last trips that we went to D.C., I wasn't sure I was going to ask again whether we could visit with Justice Kavanaugh. And we have 3 students every semester from Masaryk University that spend the semester with us. And one of them was what was he doing exactly, Ashley?
Yeah, he was doing some kind of American history thesis or doctoral project or something.
And he was determined to talk to a justice. And I said,
Yeah.
well, I just don't know if
I'm
we can
going
do that
to talk
or not.
to a justice.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of great international culture for us. And we have, again, 3 different ones every semester. And then we do a course every other year where we have a group of our students who Zoom in the spring semester and have classes with Czech students. And then we will go to Czechia, and they'll finish their course there together. So it's quite a nice thing for a community college.
We have learned a
It's
lot about
remarkable.
Czechia. It
I
has
bet
been
you
great
have.
for us. Yeah.
Oh my word, that is just remarkable. Of course, my main interaction with MCC has been through the AmeriCorps Service Project, RSVP, every year for many years. I was looking back in this now 20-year-old commemorative book, a picture of me and Susan Copeland, and
Yeah.
we've been at this a long time with RSVP, and MCC is so generous with helping that program stay around.
Well, we've got quite a few, programs that are here, and with the federal government actions, we're not sure what's going to happen yet.
Well, so yet it is a little bit of wait and see. So how much funding do you normally get through the government, and how might this affect like scholarships for students?
Well, it won't affect scholarships, but because the Pell Grant was under attack, and so we thought it might change, and students would have to be enrolled in 15 hours for full-time and 7.5 hours for part-time to get a Pell Grant. Well, that changed. The Senate Help Committee helped that, and so we still have the same requirements. So the grant programs from that are going to be fine. We don't know yet, and we also are going to have short-term Pell for the first time. But as far as the other, we have quite a few grant programs, and we're just, we're watching to see what happens. We're hoping that they will all be funded, but it could happen that some of them are not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Susan was somewhat concerned about the AmeriCorps program, but so far things are.
Well, we'll just have to see.
We just have to see.
It's one that Susan Copeland could operate on a shoestring if anybody I've ever known.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
And so it's been great to have, but
Yeah.
we have trio programs, and we have
that making a more perfect union. We're always working on that, and that civil rights story has always been a big part of that. And again, MCC plays a big part in that, in terms of our cultural history, being able to come online when it does.
Mm-hmm. And you're also a podcaster, is that right? But you mentioned it's a Substack. So what does that mean?
It's a Substack.
What is that?
We've not actually gone live. You're one of my heroes here. The way you're doing this podcast is awesome. But every once in a while, I will. The president keeps me pretty busy, but every once in a while, I'll have an idea about movies or politics or something that's going on, and it will burst out into that Substack. So I love to write. Our Chief Justice, John Roberts, one time they said, I remember him in his hearings, he said, I don't know what I think about it until I actually write about it. And so
Really?
there's a great discipline
There's
to writing.
something about
Yeah.
putting it on paper.
You, you have to make it logical enough for you to believe it, and usually that's a good mental exercise. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you've got some favorite students though, maybe that come to mind that have gone on to do big things. Anybody come to mind?
Absolutely. Well, we and there's a bunch of them. We have a couple of students who always meet us in Washington,
Oh, good.
and working in the Department of Justice is one of them. Ross Tullis is another. These are all people who actually went on that trip.
Yeah.
And, you may have run into Ross. Ross was. He's been working in Washington for the last couple of years. So we had an inside tour one morning of the Capitol that Ross took us all of the secret places. Right, it was kind of a backstage thing. So so we have. It is really fun to watch our students who've come along and do these great things in our community.
Yeah. President McKown, I know MCC takes great pride in their first generation students too, and what it has meant for families who never had anyone go to get a higher education degree.
Well, it's really important, and we are very blessed that the Rappaport Foundation has funded a whole program. That we have a cohort that really gets extra help from a counselor, and so that's exciting. But so many of our students are first generation, and first time they've ever been to college, and sometimes they need a little bit extra help, but we're excited about our students and that program in particular.
Yeah, and you've got some other new programs though, I think, coming online, right? Is it dental?
Yeah,
hygiene?
dental assistant.
Dental assistant. So what's the difference with that and a hygienist?
Well, the hygiene is a 2-year degree, and it's more intensive. The
Okay.
assistant is shorter.
Okay.
And so that we're planning to do that in the spring. We've been looking at it a long time. Our new funding model is all outcome based, and so these shorter credentials we will get benefit from that. We no longer get money for students just being enrolled. And so it's really important that we help them get these certificates and degrees. And it's important our dual credit students, if they leave with less than 15 hours, we have taught them maybe for 2 or 3 years without any reimbursement, because they have to complete, and that's not a bad goal for us.
I was going to say,
That's a good goal.
Okay.
And so we want to make sure that they complete and that they're moving toward transferring or either completing and going a technical degree. We have all those health profession programs. It's not just being a nurse, and those are great careers that can be gained in just 2 years, whether it's nursing or OT, occupational therapy, or rad tech, or respiratory care. They're just our med lab. So we're pretty proud of all of those programs.
Oh, the healthcare area MCC is known for. Also, commercial music. I mean, have got a lot of friends who have gone through the MCC music program, just outstanding musicians.
Well, and some of them, like Lizzie Garza, she's really done well.
Yeah.
Lexi Garza.
Right.
So she's performing everywhere.
She's doing big things. Yes, I need to get her back on the show.
Yeah, and one thing I just forgot to mention on new things is we've begun volleyball this fall.
Really?
So that's a brand new program for us, and so we're excited about that.
Volleyball. Okay, well, and your sport programs have done very, very well. I know you're such a great supporter. I know you go when they travel, and I love that about you.
Well, we just love to see the students succeed, and they succeed in the classroom too.
Sure.
There were quite a few that were 4.0 graduates, and so that's really exciting. And I think softball had maybe last year a 3.64 overall GPA of their graduates. So we just really we want them to do well and go to the next level. And then many of them, they'll transfer to not just any college or university, but they'll perform on the D1 level. And that's kind of nice. Something I had mentioned was our program with Masaryk University in the Czech Republic. One of our last trips that we went to D.C., I wasn't sure I was going to ask again whether we could visit with Justice Kavanaugh. And we have 3 students every semester from Masaryk University that spend the semester with us. And one of them was what was he doing exactly, Ashley?
Yeah, he was he was doing some kind of American history thesis or doctoral project or something.
And he was determined to talk to a justice. And I said,
Yeah.
well, I just don't know if we
I'm
can do
going to
that or
talk to a
not.
justice.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of great international culture for us. And we have, again, 3 different ones every semester. And then we do a course every other year where we have a group of our students who Zoom in the spring semester and have classes with Czech students. And then we will go to Czechia, and they'll finish their course there together. So it's quite a nice thing for a community college.
We have learned a
It's
lot about
remarkable.
Czechia. It
I
has
bet
been
you
great
have.
for us. Yeah.
Oh my word, that is just remarkable. Of course, my main interaction with MCC has been through the AmeriCorps Service Project, RSVP, every year for many years. I was looking back in this now 20-year-old commemorative book, a picture of me and Susan Copeland, and
Yeah.
we've been at this a long time with RSVP, and MCC is so generous with helping that program stay around.
Well, we've got quite a few, programs that are here, and with the federal government actions, we're not sure what's going to happen yet.
Well, so yet it is a little bit of wait and see. So how much funding do you normally get through the government, and might this affect like scholarships for students?
Well, it won't affect scholarships, but because the Pell Grant was under attack, and so we thought it might change, and students would have to be enrolled in 15 hours for full-time and 7.5 hours for part-time to get a Pell Grant. Well, that changed. The Senate Help Committee helped that, and so we still have the same requirements. So the grant programs from that are going to be fine. We don't know yet, and we also are going to have short-term Pell for the first time. But as far as the other, we have quite a few grant programs, and we're just, we're watching to see what happens. We're hoping that they will all be funded, but it could happen that some of them are not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Susan was somewhat concerned about the AmeriCorps program, but so far things are.
Well, we'll just have to see.
We just have to see.
It's one that Susan Copeland could operate on a shoestring if anybody I've ever known.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
And so it's been great to have, but
Yeah.
we have TRIO programs and we have adult education programs.
Yes,
and
that's another thing. I mean, there's all kinds of classes from golf to. Are you still doing those?
now that would be
courses?
community programs.
Okay.
But as far as these other grant programs, those are some that are on the list that we just have to wait and see.
Oh, okay.
And because they're not some that we can afford as a college to come up with the amount of dollars they've brought in. So we'll just have to see on those.
Okay. Well, there's a lot then to shake out, but at this point, MCC just seems to be going great guns. How many students are you looking at to start? What, the 25th of August?
Well, I don't know we are up about 24%.
Are
Now,
you really?
Whether that's going to hold, I mean, sometimes some of them have done earlier, but I just will have to wait and see. But we were over 8,000 last fall, and I'm sure we're going to surpass that. But it kind of wait till we get to the end of the day to see. But it's going very well.
Yeah, and of course, Professor Cruseturner, you're going to be facilitating the lecture with Justice Kavanaugh on September 11th.
Right.
At the Highlands Gym. Again, you have to go on Eventbrite to reserve a free ticket.
Free tickets.
What's the first thing you want him to talk about?
So, not to give too much away, he wants to talk about judging and the Constitution, and we've done, we had judges there last year. We had some very eminent judges. So we want to sort of talk about the constitutional architecture, but again, not to give away our secrets, but my understanding is he was in the White House on September 11th.
Oh,
and
how
so
profound that would be.
I think we might ask him something about that. It being September 11th, yes.
I think that would be, wow, I was not aware of that.
Because he had worked for President Bush for several years before he went on to the court.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I guess that's a concern I have, that people forget about that. since it happened so long ago,
Right.
2001.
Of course, a lot of our students were not born.
No, they weren't
Yeah,
born yet.
yeah.
Mm-mm. So again, that's like ancient history.
It is. It
You only
is.
think in
Right.
terms of your lifetime.
Yeah, it might as well be Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, really. Oh my goodness. Well, I love to end these little, you've done this before, but in these little visits with a questionnaire like the late great James Lipton would use on Inside the Actor Studio. So I'm going to start with you, Professor Cruseturner. What is your favorite word?
Humility?
Very good. What about you, President McKown?
Well, of course, I hadn't thought about it before now, but I'm thinking grace, giving grace to others.
Oh, I like that. What's your least favorite word?
Probably no.
Okay.
So I'll go, since I hit humility, I'll hit hubris as my least favorite.
Well,
Yeah.
that makes good sense. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
So again, I feel like I'm really falling into type here, but learning is something that really lights me up. It is
Yeah.
so much fun. I've always said I could walk, my 7 or 8 or 9 colleagues who teach history full time. I think I could go in and take their whole class, every one of those colleagues, and learn so much from them about my subject. And so that's very exciting.
That's awesome. What about you?
I would say mine's much simpler, and that is if I'm in my car, I like to be listening to contemporary gospel music.
Good.
It's just something, if you put positive thoughts in your mind, then I think it's easier to be positive during the day.
Right, right. So conversely, what turns you off creatively or spiritually or emotionally?
Well, that's a hard one.
I
go first?
may steal your answer. Hearing no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
I think when bad things happen to good people.
Yeah.
And it really, I know all of us have just kind of, the flood has really just been so devastating. And seeing all the pictures we've seen of the people, so seeing bad things happening to good people, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, the heartbreak has been horrible. What is your favorite sound?
See, now I'm going to take the opposite of what I said earlier. Yes, I can do that.
Okay. Okay, you want to hear that? Yeah, you want to
I
hear
want
that.
to hear that. Yes,
Yeah,
I
wanna
can
hear
do
that.
that.
Yes, I can do that.
So I do love kind of a lonesome melodic guitar.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What's your least favorite sound?
A car running into another one, maybe.
Oh, gosh, oh, no.
That would be a bad
That would be
one.
bad. That's a bad sound.
That is a bad sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, something breaking.
Yeah, yeah. I know you've been with MCC. You were with MCC many years before you became president, and I love how that transition was so smooth and so beautiful between President Ball and then McAllis and then McCowan administration. What other job would you like to have tried?
Well, I tried quite a few others. So at the college level, I don't know much what would be left. I would do things that are serving others,
Yeah.
whatever that might be. But I've tried so many that's hard to know what would be left. But I think serving others in whatever capacity it would be.
What about you? If you hadn't figured out in
I've
the
always thought,
professor's class that what you wanted to do?
being a lawyer looks fun.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing a crazy thing is I think I would love to direct movies. I
Wow.
love movies so much.
Very good.
Yeah, so.
Very good. Well, what job do you know you don't want? No thanks. Somebody else can do that.
Well, chair of the Division of Social Behavioral Sciences. No,
You cannot say that. You
your
cannot
job.
say that.
That
no,
is your job.
I like that job. That's fun. Yeah, that's a tough one. A job that I would love, that it scares me to death, and I have so much appreciation. Being a police officer seems
Yeah,
like it's
not
one of
the
the
truth.
hardest jobs
Isn't that the
out
truth?
there. Yeah.
And MCC has a connection with law enforcement too, with teaching those
Yeah,
courses.
we have a
and
law,
stuff.
law enforcement academy,
Yeah, yeah.
and we also have our own police force.
What job do you don't want?
Well, I don't think I would want to be a policeman either.
Yeah, we're so grateful for them.
We really are. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. One last question. When you arrive at the pearly gates, what do you want to hear the Lord say?
Welcome, I guess.
Well done, thou good and faithful
Yeah.
servant, I hope.
Yeah.
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 That would be a lot to ask. Yeah.
Well, you both are doing it well at MCC, and I appreciate you so much for coming and being on the show today.
Thank you so much. This is
Stay
such an
with
honor.
us. We have got more ahead.
Revive Superfood Smoothies. Pill, pour, blend, and enjoy. All within the comfort of my own home.
Revive Superfood Smoothies. Peel, blend, and enjoy. Fast and easy, and I'm out the door.
There's an old church house on the edge of town. They say lovers go there to lay their burdens down. So take my hand, let's go tonight. There's some things I must tell you. Don't be afraid, it'll be alright. So come lay your healing hands on me. 'Cause I once was blind, but now I see. And I'm just a prodigal looking for the light. Oh, I may be lost, but I'm gonna be found in your arms tonight. Oh, we've all got our demons. We're all broken at best. We're all hiding scars, baby, all deep down in our chest. Take a chance on me. Oh, you might be surprised. Oh, and what if we fall? Oh, but what if we fly? So come lay your healing hands on me. I once was blind, oh, but now I see. And I'm just a prodigal looking for the light. Oh, I may be lost, I'm gonna be found in your arms tonight. I may be lost, but I'm gonna be found in your arms tonight.
Stick around. Elizabeth Riley has your Act Locally news coming right up.
This is the Sonos Arc Ultra, and this is what you need to know about. It represents one of the easiest ways to get into high-quality home cinema without loads of cables and faffing around. And that's because the Arc Ultra provides full Dolby Atmos without any rear speakers thanks to its sound motion technology. And Sonos is actually calling sound motion one of the most significant breakthroughs in audio engineering in nearly 100 years. It's an amazing setup, it sounds absolutely fantastic, I love the absence of fat. If you're a Sonos person, there's a reason you're watching this video.
Pet Circle needs your help clearing the shelters this month. Pet adoption prices have been docked in half, making it only $12 to take home your future soulmate. Sounds like a cheap date to me. If you're unable to take home one of our fuzzy friends, you can still help out. Meals on Wheels is hosting a pet food drive with the Woodway Family Center to support our pet-owning senior neighbors who are in desperate need of cat food and small dog food. You can drop off donations now until early September. When you make a donation, fill out the raffle form for a chance to win a gift card to a local restaurant. Finally, the Waco Pack is celebrating our favorite kid wizard's birthday with a live performance of the iconic Harry Potter series. Join the Waco Pack the evening of August 16th for a one-of-a-kind improv adventure filled with spells, surprises, and spontaneous silliness. You can purchase tickets online where you can check out the rest of their events. I'm Elizabeth Riley with Act Locally News, and I'll see you next time.
Welcome back to the show. There is a first-time wonderful fundraising event. It's a gala that's going to be at the Barge Ranch in the Bell County area. And joining me now is Norman Northern, who is on the committee that's helping to put this on. It's called Turquoise and Boots. So, yeah, a little
that tells you
little Western chic, fun, glamour kind of thing at a ranch. But what's important is this is a fundraiser for our hospice house. And let's talk first about our hospice house, because, Norman, you tell me that this is the only such facility between San Antonio and Dallas. There's no freestanding hospice facility?
Not like this.
Like this.
No, not like this.
Which is a home
it is,
setting.
Yes, and it's a home setting with, you have to be referred to by another hospice agency to come be there for your end of days. And so.
And this is a free thing?
It is free.
That's
it is
amazing.
free. There is no you're not charged by the day or the hour or whatever, but you can make donations, but it is a free service. We only take 3 patients
at a time.
Mm-hmm. But it is, and my mother was there her last week, and it was like heaven on earth.
Norma.
Because all of a sudden, you are no longer, you're the child again.
Yeah.
You are no longer the caretaker, because they're taking care of everything. Feeding you, if you can bring your own food and cook it in the kitchen, or they have food for you, taking care of. You can stay every night 24/7 if you want to. It's just literally heaven on earth. And so,
and it is a faith-based
yes,
thing.
very,
Our
very
hospice
much.
house. In fact, the scripture on your flyer, "You shall love your neighbor as yourself," from Matthew 22:39. So this is an amazing thing.
We have been open 2 years.
Right. It's very and
have-
relatively new.
Yes.
Relatively new, providing this compassionate end-of-life care at no cost. That's just incredible. It says each year over 75 people have been.
Yes, we've
served.
had a little over 150 patients right now, and over 5,000 people through the doors.
Really,
Yes,
really.
yes, and the first house we were in was a lease arrangement, but the 501c3 has bought this particular
This is a
house
beautiful
that we're
home.
in.
Yeah. Yes.
It's between Belton and Salado, you know, where the Cadence Bank Center, the Expo,
Right.
kind of right across the highway, sheltered over there in a grove of trees, and it's just
Yeah.
beautiful setting that the patients can look out and see trees and green grass, and the whole family can be there. There's places for children to be there, or grandchildren of the person that's in the care of the hospice house that can be there, and it's like I say, it's heaven on earth.
It's a wonderful work. It takes money, though,
Yes, it
and
does.
so that's why this fundraiser. In fact, you have several that are maybe in the works.
Yes.
But this one is coming up Labor Day weekend, September
It's the
6th.
weekend after.
After
It's the
Labor
weekend
Day.
after Labor Day
So that's
weekend.
that would be September 6th. And tell me about the Barge Ranch. So they graciously
Yes,
offered
yes,
their
yes.
place.
Right now, it's Bill and Laura Barge lived there. It was built by Bill's parents, Vernon and Betty Ann Barge. Built it 50 years ago, and they have always been gracious enough to extend it to the community. And so when we started trying to find something that could be a little bit country and western chic,
Yeah.
I called Bill and I said, "Would you offer the ranch for this event?" And he was gracious, and he said, "Let me run it by Laura," and they have just been perfect. And so it's come through the gates, arrive for valet parking. In the circular drive will be 5 vintage pickups. And we will have a professional photographer there that you can have your picture made, in all of your, however you want to dress.
Your cowboy chic, though.
your
I mean, it's
cowboy
sort of the
chic.
theme, if you want. but
Yes, upscale.
yeah, some sequin boots, maybe. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
But you've got wonderful sponsorships set out, and it's not too late, I think, to be a sponsor, right?
No, right, you can still
So,
be a sponsor.
yeah, I mean, and your sponsorships have got some amazing amenities that go along with them.
Yes. So we're, so you arrive and you're going to be treated to hors d'oeuvres and Texas beer and wine and a fabulous pianist on the Steinway Grand as you walk into the foyer of the house. Barbecue and all the fixings for dinner. The Hot Miller Band is playing. We'll have dancing, and then we have live auction items, and it's Turquoise and Boots, and we have a 100-carat turquoise piece by Charlie Wharton.
Really?
That will be auctioned. That's the turquoise, and then we have a bootmaker in Salado that will make you a custom pair of boots.
That's a pretty good auction item.
Yeah, it is. And
I'm
then
telling you.
I think we have a couple of trips and a few other
Yeah.
things that fit to go with the live auction. You can buy a single ticket, or you can buy a full table.
A table, and the tables are running
10,000 on down.
On down,
On
okay.
down.
Yeah, your Diamond Spur sponsors $10,000, and then the Platinum is $5,000.
Yes.
Gold Spur is $3,000, and then the Turquoise Spur sponsors $1,500. But individual tickets are $150 each.
$150 for individual tickets, but you can, and each level has a different. The top level, you will get picked up limo service from your house.
Oh my goodness!
To get there, so you don't have to worry about getting to and from.
Yeah, or parking or any of that.
Exactly. So
that is an amazing.
It's a full
perk. Yeah.
And
well, you've thought of it all, and you said already several tables already.
We have already
sponsorships
exactly.
in the works for Turquoise and Boots, which is going to raise a nice amount of money for Our Hospice House. So folks can go. They can go to Our Hospice House online to learn more, and more information about the gala will be there as well.
Yes.
Well, Norman, you just do all the good in Bell County.
We're trying.
It's delightful to get to catch up with you again and see what's happening. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Natural Cycles identifies your fertile window by analyzing changes in your temperature. It's the first FDA-cleared birth control app. No hormones, no side effects, and 93% effective with typical use, and 98% effective with perfect use. Just measure in the morning, add your temperature into the app, then learn which days you can and cannot get pregnant. It's that easy. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
Thanks for being with us. Tomorrow we hear about the Waco Networking Group from Janice and Tim Harder, and find out how you could win a brand new smile from WM Dentistry and their Smile Forward project. We'll tell you all about it. Make it a great day.